Don in London, hello. December the 9th, my video is all about recovery from addiction to either substances or behaviour. My addictive substance, in my case, alcohol, could have been anything, but my behaviour could also be addictive towards people, places, things. Obsessive collecting, obsessive trying to be perfect, and never so. But I didn't even know I was trying to be perfect. I was just trying to fit in with what I thought you wanted. So maybe a bit of a people pleaser, but also a rebellious streak. We're full of, I guess, paradoxes, opposites. You know, if you tell me to go one way, I'll go the other. And that's part of the perversity of living at the edge, if you like, or at the extremes of life. And what I'm finding these days, sober one day at a time, and less self-obsessed, less driven to be whatever I thought you wanted me to be. There is balance somewhere in there. But it all depends on life experience. And you know, my life experience was 35 years of drinking and not really sorting out who I was, or as if I could. I don't know that we can sort out who we are. We just get to know a little bit more about who we are by the end of the day. So we get more of an identity based on what we're doing. And if I'm not drinking, I'm onto, I guess, a level playing field where most people live and operate and experience life as it is. So what's helped me get sober? Well, family, community, professionals, and a fellowship has kept me in continuous sobriety for quite a while. And that fellowship is AA, Alcoholics Anonymous. I never speak for AA, never can, never will. It's full of unique, authentic people who speak on a daily basis where they choose about their recovery. So this is part of me sharing I'm just one voice. And what makes fellowship work is the many voices who have wisdom. So if you can't relate to me, where is the best place to go to find sobriety in fellowship? Well, that's AA, and it is the many voices which always count. So in meetings, what you see is what you get, and I don't promote AA as such. I say it's a solution for me. I can only speak for me. But I share about AA because it's important to understand what it can and cannot do. It can open our eyes to sober living. It cannot fix us. Simple as that. So you can be attracted to sobriety, but we can't promote it, because if we suggest we can fix you, or I can fix you, I can't. We can't. So what is AA? I'll share the AA preamble and then a daily reflection to give a little flavour of what is possible on a daily basis. So AA, Alcoholics Anonymous, is a fellowship of men and women who share their experience, strength and hope with each other, that they may solve their common problem and help others to recover from alcoholism. The only requirement for membership is the desire to stop drinking. There are no dues or fees for AA membership. We are self-supporting through our own contributions. AA is not allied with any sect, denomination, politics, organisation or institution. It does not wish to engage in any controversy, neither endorses nor opposes any causes. Our primary purpose is to stay sober and help other alcoholics to achieve sobriety. So it's all about what you see is what you get, sharing experience, strength and hope, and maybe picking up some pointers on how to be sober one day at a time. And there's no great trick in it. It's about finding a path, a unique, authentic path, which we all have. You know, we're all in the same moment, but everybody's experience of the same moment is different. And it's better without it being blotted out or made fuzzy by alcohol or other substances or an obsession around behaviour. And it takes time. Everything takes time, but the only time that counts is now. And in this book, the daily reflections, being daily, it just means that if we reflect on something positive, or even if we're reflecting on something negative, if we can understand what our mood is behind it, how we feel about life right now, it will help us deal with reality. So a reflection for today, December the 9th, and December is all about the 12th step of AA, which is sharing a message. Love with no price tag. When the 12th step is seen in its full implication, it is really talking about the kind of love that has no price tag to it. In order for me to start working the 12th step, I had to work on sincerity, honesty, and to learn to act with humility. Carrying the message is a gift of myself, no matter how many years of sobriety I may have accumulated. My dreams can become reality. I solidify my sobriety by sharing what I have received freely, and everything is received freely and given freely. As I look back to that time when I began my recovery, there was already a seed of hope that I could help another drunk pull himself out of his alcoholic mire, and we can only do it on a daily basis. So it's not that we will save anybody, it's just helping somebody remain sober for another day. My wish to help another drunk is the key to my spiritual health, and spiritual for me is living in reality. But I never forget that God acts through me, or simply good conscience, depending on your point of view. I am only his instrument. Even if the other person is not ready, there is success, because my effort on his behalf has helped me remain sober and to become stronger. To act, to never grow weary in my 12-step work is the key. If I am capable of laughing today, let me not forget those days when I cried. God reminds me that I can feel compassion. And, you know, it is about that, it's about compassion, and this week has been pretty tough, and trying to keep myself together and also to be helpful to others. But I know when my mood is going down, and it can be for a lot of reasons in my case, no bigger, no smaller than anybody else's, but I have one or two conditions which make it difficult. I know when my mood goes down and I'm tired, I feel refreshed if I don't stay isolated. I get into company. The best company I can get into when I'm not feeling quite right is the company of other people wanting to be sober. So fellowship is a strong foundation, and you know, whatever we come to believe in about our life and living and its purpose is what we come to understand works for us. Unique, authentic humans having a unique, authentic experience sober, in my experience, is far better than what is going to happen over the next few weeks, which is lots of parties, and in the past I did enjoy them, and misbehaviour, which I thoroughly enjoyed, but at the same time, cumulatively, it was damaging me for many, many years. So these days, I'm hoping and looking forward to a sober Christmas, or December, where I can live life in reality. And, you know, the gift for me today, I may feel tired and somewhat discombobulated. At the same time, it's okay to feel that way. I don't have to fix it. I just need to understand why and what can I do. And the answer often is seek out good company of those who can help me. And that can be family, friends and community. And it can be fellowship. So whatever works, works. And then we work it, as we say in fellowship. And when we're not sure, or we're trying to make sense of life, there is a reflection which will work in any moment to give us a clue to what to do next. And that's the serenity prayer. And it can be to God, as you believe, or it can be to a higher power that you believe, or it can be simply good conscience, your good conscience indicating what to do next. And serenity is always in the moment. It's not cumulative. Serenity is now. And I feel quite serene having done this, because it's a bit of giving. And so the serenity prayer to God, good conscience, the higher power of your understanding, unique and authentic. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. For me, is always just for today. Don in London, hello, it's December the 9th, 2009. My video is all about recovery from addiction to either substance or behaviour. My addictive substance, alcohol, my behaviour. To be addicted to that too. Any type of behaviour. Work, relationships, you name it, collecting. Going to extremes of either one end of the spectrum or the other. Doing nothing or doing everything. Trying to be perfect. And then drink. Where did it take me? 35 years of alcohol. I know the first drink did the damage these days. It took the edge off my feelings, made me feel convivial and joyful, and this was as a small child. So what chance did I have, having had that revelation, to understand my emotional, spiritual and physical well-being on a daily basis? Well, the answer was, I think and feel it was somewhat curtailed. So I enjoyed it, and it took the edge off. It got rid of fear, or rather it suppressed fear in me. And I think during my childhood there were many fearful times. It was not an easy time to live, and that was nobody's fault. So part of what I've learned in recovery is blame no one for what happened before. It's just as it was, and it was a place of learning. So experience, strength and hope on a daily basis of drinking for 35 years. All it taught me in the end was, when I stopped, all the emotional, spiritual and physical problems manifested as they would, just as they would. So the gift these days is, if I keep in recovery, my emotional, spiritual and physical well-being on a daily basis can be as it is now. And that is the most important part for me in recovery. I get to see, feel and understand life as it is today, not tomorrow and not yesterday. So through a process of healing, I guess, I've come to understand why things happened in my life, and not to look back and stare, ponder and fear it, or wish it was back. And not to look too far forward, because if I do that, I'm living in the future, and I haven't got there yet. So what is the magic which has helped me do this? And well, is it magic? I guess self-awareness is a magical thing to encounter, to find ourselves, and to know who we are on a daily basis, just learning who we are on a daily basis. So what's helped me? Family, community, professionals, to get me well, or as well as can be, and deal with the other aspects of my recovery. And a fellowship which it keeps me on track on a daily basis, and that fellowship is AA, Alcoholics Anonymous. And if you're not addicted or have not been addicted to alcohol, but there is something else, you'll find there is another anonymous out there somewhere which will help. And for me, AA, well, I'm a fan, I'm in it, I'm part of it, and so are all the other people, unique, authentic people who choose their path. And the gift is, we all follow the path that suits us. The choice is there again, and that's the most important part of it. Yes, we realise there are some things that we cannot control and we have no power over, but then we start to understand that life choices are back, based on reality, not on some fiction or fantasy. So what does AA do for me? Well, I share literature here, and also the statement of intent about AA, because it slows me into the moment of now, and it's part of my daily meditation. And this is what AA does. Alcoholics Anonymous is a fellowship of men and women who share their experience, strength and hope with each other, that they may solve their common problem and help others to recover from alcoholism. The only requirement for membership is a desire to stop drinking. There are no dues or fees for AA membership. We are self-supporting through our own contributions. AA is not allied with any sect, denomination, politics, organisation or institution. It does not wish to engage in any controversy, neither endorses nor opposes any causes. Our primary purpose is to stay sober and help other alcoholics to achieve sobriety. And part of that, there is a 12-step program of action to change my attitude and behaviour on a daily basis. And there are 12 months in the year, so my videos have concentrated on one step per month, which is the same as this particular book, Daily Reflections, which is an AA 1 page a day on an affirmation to live sober. And the 12th step, which is December, reads like this: Having had a spiritual awakening as a result of these steps, we try to carry this message to alcoholics and to practice these principles in all our affairs. And for me, spiritual, people say that the program of AA is spiritual, and I do believe they're right. And I live a spiritual life, which is to live in the moment. And in the moment, I can find the truth of now. And if I can't find the truth of now, then I can ask others, what do they understand the truth to be? So rather than go it alone on self-will, and sometimes my self-will ran riot, because I wanted it all my own way, and actually I can only get choices based on reality. So spiritual connection for me is always about reality, and God is mentioned often. Now for me, there was a chair last night which I went to a fellowship meeting, and the person described their understanding of the step 3, which is basically let go and let God. And I was stumbling around in the dark for many months in AA, trying to work out what could be the God of my understanding, because it's the God of our understanding which counts, not another person's, our own. So last night it sort of clicked again. For me, God is the big picture. It's not just me and my outlook which counts, it's the outlook of everyone, 6.5 billion people on the planet, and we all have a right to be here. So the big picture is letting the world in and living a life in an included way with the rest of society, and accepting what is possible and what is not possible. So God is truth for me, and that's not the truth I would want it to be, but it's the absolute truth of the situation right now. And God is love. People will help if they can, and God works through people. I need to listen to people. That's how the spiritual connection works for me. But everybody has their own, and that's the gift. So the daily reading for today in Daily Reflections goes like this. It says, love with no price tag, December 9th. When the 12th step is seen in its full implication, it is really talking about the kind of love that has no price tag on it. In order for me to start working the 12th step, I had to work on sincerity, honesty, and to learn to act with humility. Carrying the message is a gift of myself, no matter how many years of sobriety I may have accumulated. My dreams can become reality. That's the local enforcement officers going back for tea, by the way. My dreams can become reality. I solidify my sobriety by sharing what I have received freely. So if I get it, I give it. Well, I just give it away freely anyway. As I look back to the time when I began my recovery, there was already a seed of that hope that I could help another drunk pull himself out of his alcoholic mire. My wish to help another drunk is the key to my spiritual health. But I never forget that God acts through me. I'm only his instrument, and that's the truth of now. Even if the other person is not ready, there is success, because my effort in his behalf, or on his behalf, has helped me to remain sober and to become stronger. To act, to never grow weary in my 12th step work is the key. If I am capable of laughing today, let me not forget those days when I cried. God reminds me that I can feel compassion. And you know, compassion is a great part of the program, because without it, where would we be ourselves? So for 80 odd years, or 70 or 80 years, this fellowship's been going along, giving away freely what people have received. And in the early days, it was difficult, because it was a new idea, a new way of dealing with a horrible disease that nobody knew the way out of. And you know, if it's a disease and there are many cures, as Anton Chekhov said, there is no cure. And what we have is a daily living opportunity. Some call it a daily reprieve, but I feel it's an opportunity to keep on living and making the best of what is, based on truth and love. So when I share the Serenity Prayer to the God of your understanding, or the God of my understanding, or good conscience, God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference, for me, will always be just for today.